Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best laptops for college students, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. As the years have rolled by, the lines between Dell and Alienware have gotten fuzzier and fuzzier. This doesn't have the full bug-eyed poise of an Alienware device, nor the extraterrestrial specs, but it has inherited some of the luxury edge you might expect, combined with Dell's typically solid build quality. The top cover of the G5 chassis sports an interstellar dark finish, for example, which hides an iridescent sparkle inside what, in most lights, is a relatively pedestrian black plastic. Beneath the front edge of the chassis on the model I have here is a 12-zone RGB light bar, projecting a decent arc onto the desk beneath. That's present on all G5 models with a GTX 1660 Ti or better. Opt for a GTX 1650 Ti and you lose out, but the base model makes up for it with a slimmer form factor. There are a lot of other probably unnecessary but definitely nice design touches in there too. The screen portion opens on a relatively narrow central hinge. The keyboard, squashed up a little to accommodate the appreciated number pad, lights up a crisp white. Even the underside has had design attention feasted upon it, complementing the light bar with a two-texture plastic design and giving the twin fan cooling plenty of room to breathe. Dell supplied T3 with the NVIDIA RTX 2060 spin of the G5 here. You can go lower, right down to a GTX 1650 Ti, and you can spec it up to an RTX 2070 if you wish, but this is probably the sweet spot, at least until the line gets a 30 series update. I would imagine this would happen later in the year, though that's only speculation. A 2060 isn't outrageous, but it's enough. It's middle ground in a race where the high end is now so far away from the low that games haven't truly had the chance to catch up. There's nothing you might want to play on the G5 that you'll be denied, though cutting the odd graphical setting corner is probably the order of the day for heavier titles. Alongside it, Dell has dropped in an Intel Core i7-10750H processor, a current favorite in gaming laptops for its generous speed and decent turbo boosting capabilities, and the only chip available in the G5 line at this time. Again, an 11th gen upgrade is entirely plausible, but right now the Hexa-Core 10750H is a solid option though, as we'll find out, it is barely advanced from the 9750H which came before it. The Surface Book 3 is held back, unfortunately, by the lack of H-series processors. Instead, it's equipped with an Intel Core i7-1065G7 that you'd typically find in something like the Dell XPS 13. And, for the most part, in CPU-heavy workloads, that's exactly how it performs. For instance, in Cinebench R20, the Surface Book 3 got 1,697 points, which is within margin of error of the Dell XPS 13's 1,700 points. Keep in mind that the Surface Book 3 is a much more expensive device. A large part of that increase in pricing, however, comes from the discrete GPU. The model we reviewed features an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. Now, this is definitely a gaming-capable GPU, but not really something we'd recommend for gaming at the native resolution. The GTX 1660 Ti, paired with the low-power U-series processor, only manages 36 frames per second in Metro Exodus at 1080p, let alone what gaming at the 4K native resolution would require. Microsoft does claim that this is a gaming-ready device, and for the most part it's not wrong. There's a caveat though, you're going to have to lower resolution to 1080p to get a good experience, unless the games you're playing were all released a decade ago. Meanwhile, the Surface Book 3 is strapped with 32GB of RAM, which is absolutely overkill for most everyday users. However, photo and video editors will absolutely eat that memory up, something that the included GTX 1660 Ti will also undoubtedly help with. It's just unfortunate that the Surface Book 3 is stuck with a U-series processor. It's likely that including a more beefy chunk of silicon would call for a more robust and heavy cooling solution, but this is ultimately a device aimed at creative professionals, so more power would definitely be worth the extra heft. The Razer Blade 15 Advanced model is heavy. No getting around it, this is a weighty beast, tipping the scales at just over 2 kilograms, 4.4 pounds, and while it's slim enough at 16.99mm x 235mm x 355mm, 0.67 inches by 9.25 inches by 13.98 inches, to not make too big a dent in your bag, it'll certainly make one in your shoulder while you're lugging it around. That said, it's not the densest machine we've ever seen. Stand up, the likes of the Asus ROG Zephyrus SGX 701 https://www.t3.com/reviews/asus-rog-zephyrus-s-gx701, and the weight it does carry is basically justified. There's an 80 watt-hour lithium polymer battery squashed inside, a large vapor chamber system for cooling, and the case itself is rock-solid CNC milled anodized aluminum. Our Razer Blade 15 Advanced comes with a 320Hz screen. Frame rates that high are way beyond the limits of the eye and brain, but that's not really the point of a refresh rate increase. This is one of the smoothest panels we've ever seen. We ran it through Blur Buster's entire suite of tests. Amusingly, Blur Busters could not actually match the exact refresh rate of the too fast screen, and ghosting, trails and persistence are kept to an absolute minimum no matter how hard it's pushed. Backing that up is a fully muscled Core i7-11800H processor, which idles at 2.3 GHz and can boost up to double that speed. Backing /up is a full quotient of slotted 32 GB DDR4 RAM, a seriously quick 1 TB M.2 PCIe 4.0 SSD, with an open slot for you to add extra storage, and Intel's seemingly ubiquitous Wi-Fi 6E AX210 package. Top flight stuff. Expansion potential is also very high, with a pair of Thunderbolt 4-capable USB Type-C ports, one on each side of the unit, along with 3, count 'em, full-size Type-A ports, a proper HDMI output, a built-in SD card reader, and a combo audio jack. Whatever you want to connect, you'll have room for it, be that an external mouse, an extra monitor or 3, Type-C charging, or, thanks to Thunderbolt, even some yet-to-be-invented GPU upgrade. The Zephyrus G14 is something of a small wonder. As gaming laptops go, it is extremely slim and light, cramming more gaming prowess into its 14-inch chassis than any comparable Ultrabook from the past few years. Measuring 12.8 by 8.7 by 0.7 inches, the compact Zephyrus G14 weighs just 3.5 pounds, making it the smallest and lightest gaming laptop on the market. The computer owes its light weight to the materials that make up its sleek body, with rigid magnesium and aluminum used for the chassis, deck and lid. But the compact design is missing a couple of features, dropped in order to cut weight and size. Most notable is the lack of a webcam. While the display's slim bezels don't leave much room for a camera above the screen, there's also no webcam below it, or on the laptop deck. If you want to video chat or stream yourself playing on Twitch, you'll need to pick up a separate camera. Our review unit came in a sleek-looking white finish, paired with a metallic silver deck, for a color scheme that Asus calls Moonlight White. Asus also offers the laptop in a more subdued Eclipse Gray, which has a near-black finish on the lid and matching deck, with black keys on the keyboard. Around the outside edge of the chassis are several ventilation grills, which are a necessary part of any high-performance laptop that has heat-generating components inside. The design has a stylish flourish along the back hinge edge, where the grills have an angular look and a triangular three-dimensional design. The stylish design also puts one unexpected twist on an often ignored part of the laptop, the lid. The smooth, flat surface of the lid appears to be embellished with a pattern of dots across half the lid's surface. Closer inspection reveals that these dots are actually tiny holes. The result is a very distinctive look that is surprisingly subdued for a gaming laptop. But never fear, RGB fanatics, Asus still has blinking lights for you. While our review unit had only the hole/dot texture across the lid, Asus also offers the Zephyrus G14 with an array of micro LED lights, called the Anime Matrix display, that let each pinprick hole glow with RGB goodness. You can then turn those dots into an animated marquee, which you can further customize with text and graphics. The latest XPS 15 makes better use of real estate than last year's model, with bigger keycaps, a much larger touchpad and slim front firing speakers that are all laid out elegantly on the deck. But the biggest design change is the laptop's new four-sided Infinity Edge display, which ditches the thick bottom bezel from previous iterations for Dell's most seamless 15-inch laptop screen yet. The Dell XPS 15 2022 packs a total of 3 USB-C ports for charging and connecting to external displays and peripherals, 2 of which are Thunderbolt 3 for extra-fast connectivity. You also get a full-sized SD card reader as well as a headphone jack, as well as a USB-C to USB-A adapter out of the box. The Dell XPS 15 2022 borrows the best thing about the new XPS 13, a truly four-sided Infinity Edge display, with no chunky bottom bezel to distract you from whatever you're working on, watching or playing. But the effect is even more dramatic on the XPS 15's 15.6-inch display, which now has a 92.9% screen-to-body ratio for maximum immersion. All of that real estate, paired with the rich 3840 by 2400 resolution on our review unit, made me never want to put the XPS 15 down. When I watched Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker on Dell's laptop, colorful red and green laser blasts popped nicely against a blue ice cave as TIE fighters chased the Millennium Falcon. The screen also did a great job preserving fine details, such as the stubble of Poe Dameron's face and the orange and white patterns on BB-8's outer body.